Imagine you are embarking on a journey to create a beautiful, stylish, and responsive websites. Along the way, you will encounter a powerful tool called Tailwind CSS, which is like having a magic wand for a web design. Let me take you on a tour of Tailwind CSS and its awesome features. Tailwind CSS is a utility-first CSS framework that provides a highly efficient way to build user interfaces. It is different from conventional CSS frameworks like Foundation and Bootstrap, which normally includes pre-designed elements and preset styles. Tailwind CSS, on the other hand, concentrates on offering a collection of low-level utility classes that you can combine to produce unique designs. Now, let's discuss some of the features of Tailwind CSS. So here are some key concepts and features of Tailwind CSS. The first one is utility classes. Tailwind CSS offers a comprehensive set of utility classes that can be applied directly in your HTML markup. These classes define specific styles such as margins, paddings, colors, typography, positioning, and more. The next one is automatic design. Tailwind CSS follows the automatic design principle, which encourages composing UI elements by combining smaller building blocks. By using utility classes, you can easily assemble and customize components without writing custom CSS for each individual component. The next one is responsive design. Tailwind CSS includes a responsive grid system that allows you to create responsive layouts. You can define different sizes and alignments for various screen sizes using the responsive classes like SM, MD, LG, and XL. Next, we have customization. Tailwind CSS is highly customizable. It provides a configuration file where you can modify various aspects of the framework, such as color, font, breakpoints, and more. This allows you to tailor Tailwind CSS to match your project-specific design requirements. The next we have Just-in-Time Mode, JIT. In addition to regular mode, Tailwind CSS introduced a Just-in-Time Mode. JIT mode dynamically generates only the CSS classes that are used in your project, resulting in a smaller final CSS file sizes. By combining these features, Tailwind CSS offers a highly flexible and efficient way to create a custom design without writing extensive CSS code. It empowers developers to rapidly prototype, iterate, and build modern user interfaces. To get started with Tailwind CSS, you can install it via npm or include it via a CDN and then start applying the utility classes directly in your HTML markup. Tailwind CSS is highly customizable. It provides a configuration file where you can modify various aspects of the framework. Now, let's move on to the demo and let's create something from Tailwind CSS and see how we can use it. Now, before moving ahead, you should know HTML and CSS before diving into this demo. Luckily, we have full courses on HTML and CSS. The link will be in the description box below. You can definitely check it out. Let's see the dev tools that you need for this tutorial. You should have Chrome browser and VS Code in your system. Now, let's install npm or npx in your system. Also, you should have Node.js. To check whether you have Node.js installed in your system or not, you can just press Ctrl backtick and this terminal will open. You can also go here to open the terminal and new terminal. Okay. Now, here I'll write node-v to check the version of the node. So for me, it's version 16.20. You have different versions also. So it's fine. Let's open the Chrome and I'll show you how to install Node.js for Windows or Mac. You can download from the Node website. So if you have Windows laptop, you can install like what type of laptop you have, what the configuration of the laptop you have. And Mac, you can also install which Mac do you have. Okay, so let's move ahead and go to Visual Studio Code and let's dive into this. Now, before moving ahead, let me tell you, Tailwind CSS is a modern and innovative CSS framework that revolutionizes the way you design and build websites. Tailwind CSS embraces the utility-first approach, Let me tell you about this. Let's first write it here. I'll tell you what utility class is before moving ahead, okay? So when we used to write any CSS, we used to write dot my class, we can say, and we used to give a margin like that. Margin. Oh, I've named the file HTML, it's CSS. Okay, it's fine. I'm just trying to tell you how we write it earlier and how we now write it in CSS. Okay. Now, earlier we used to write CSS like this, my class, and then we'll give it a margin of this. Now, you would add the classes directly to your HTML elements like. Now, you can add the HTML like this. In the HTML file only, inside a div, we'll write a class and we'll give that class a margin of 4 and then we'll close it. Now, with the help of this Tailwind CSS, see how much code we have saved with just one line, right? So this is how Tailwind CSS works. Okay. So reusable classes that empowers you to create, customize and responsive design with ease. Now let's install one extension which is live server. In my system it's already installed by Ritwik div. You can install it by just going here, and here you will find the button install. Just install it. It will help us to give our code in the live server. Okay, you don't have to save again and again and run again the same command, right? Okay. Now, moving ahead, let's install the CSS, Tailwind CSS. Let's delete this HTML and let's open the terminal. And here I will write npx Tailwind CSS init. This will install, open the, will write, this will install a config file of Tailwind. Okay, let's wait a couple of minutes. So as we can see, it has installed, created a file and imported Tailwind CSS. Okay, so we'll need, and let's now create. Now let's create here, create, and let's create another one, not inside this. Let's create another one, src. So we have created two folders, create and src. So let's move ahead. Let's index HTML. Now let's create. So many people say how we did that. So this is the abbreviation to create a demo of HTML. Just write one exclamation mark and just type tab. Okay, it will create this blank HTML for you guys, right? So you can change the name. Okay, fine. Now our next step is to create a folder inside this config to tell Tailwind where is the HTML file. So for that, inside this I'll write slash, and inside the create directory we have asterisk or star sign with .html, right? That should be in the brackets. Yeah, so let me just see it again that it is right or wrong. Yeah, so yeah, let's save it Now it will save all the HTML file. Now inside the source, we'll create a file and let's name it as input.css, right? So let's now add Tailwind inside this. You can paste it also, but let's write it. Tailwind base, Tailwind component, and Tailwind utilities. And that will always be like that, so don't worry about that lines. Let's save this file now. Now what we are doing here is we have created this Tailwind CSS base component and utility classes. So what we can do is, what this will help is, whenever I'll write my CSS inside this, it will automatically convert our CSS to Tailwind CSS. So let's do that by just writing a command npx Tailwind CSS hive to install, import, write dot source. Inside the source there is one CSS file, this file. So to convert that, we'll write their names, like first write this input dot CSS, and to open it into the different folder which we have created is create, and let's here we'll write CSS to style dot CSS. So what we are doing here is we are just writing the source CSS file to convert into the Tailwind file. So let's press enter and see. Let's press enter again and see. Yeah, so this has created one folder for us. It's inside this folder it has created one style. So inside this, let's look at this. So this is all the Tailwind styles that this has created for us. Inside this we'll find it. Okay, so let's just not work on that. Let's move ahead. Now let's open our HTML file, and here after the title we'll write, or let's import the compatibility first with a meta. It doesn't matter, but let's add it. Equip with the XUA. You don't have to learn these lines, you will eventually know when you learn HTML. Okay, content IE, we'll need this content one, so let's make it till here. It doesn't matter, without this line also your code will run smoothly. So let's just show you how it is. So main thing is we'll link the CSS to our HTML. For that we'll telling him there is one style sheet. Location of that will be CSS style. Okay, let's save it. And now inside the body we'll create one div of class bg, which is this one is Tailwind component and style. So we'll give it a width. In Tailwind we don't write it with width and all, as I have shown you in the utility classes part in the earlier. Okay, so we'll give it a height of 52.
Okay, let's write this and save it. So as we have created one HTML, to run this, we'll again go back to this previous command that we wrote, right? So what we'll be doing here is we'll write slash and we'll write watch. What this function will do, it will again render the file without even saving it. We have to just save it, and it will again open in the server. So let's click on it. Okay, and it's saying rebuilding and it's done. Let's now open our file on the live server. So I have just clicked and it is showing me a small square. Let's go back and add some more functionalities to the square, and let's make it a circle. For that, I'll be writing rounded none, rounded small, full. So there are so many with the tailwind. Let's give it a shadow also to make it look more good. So I have only written shadow, and it's giving me so many functions of tailwind, right? So let's write tailwind shadow function to Excel, and let's save it. And by just pressing save, it's just building and watching our code going through some changes, right? Let's go and you'll see one shadow function is there, and it has made that square into a circle. Let's move back to our code, and okay, yeah. Now what I have to do is, it's looking great but it's in the corner. So what I have to do is I have to make the circle in the center of the page. Okay, so for that we'll give it a class of tailwind, and we'll write min height of screen. Okay, and the grid, you know about the grid. If you don't know about the grid, you can check out our video on grid. And place content center. So what I have given it a class, it should be screen height should be medium, and the grid of that page should be placed in the center. So let's save this file, and you will see our circle is in the center. And if I'll reduce it, you will see it will always be in the center of the page, like that, right? Okay, let's make it like that only for now. Yeah, let's leave it, move forward. Now to create another circle, we'll again create another class inside that div only, right? So we have creating another class, and it's in this. We'll give it a pg of, let's give it a pg of style. Let's give it 200, or it's fine, page. Okay, and let's give it a width of 32 and then a height of 32 as well, right? And it should be rounded again, and let's copy this from the above. Shadow, we will write it, no issues. It's rounded full, it's not in the grid part. Let's save it now and see whether it is coming, please. Okay, now what I have done here is I have placed one grid place content in center in this line also. So let's save it and see. Yeah, it's looking exactly like we want it to be. Now let's create another circle inside this second circle. Again, we'll write the class of pg color, and let's give it a PG of yellow. Okay, and let's give it a height of 16 because it should come like similar to everything. And let's give this a height of that, and we'll write rounded full. Yeah, and let's close this div and save it, and see, we have created this, right? So with this CSS Tailwind configuration, or you can say Tailwind CSS file, we can do so many things with that. Like, as you can see, we just wrote some classes of Tailwind CSS and we have improved our code so much. So say goodbye to the limitations of pre-designed components and embrace the freedom of Tailwind CSS, where you can have complete control over every aspect of the website style. With its extensive default size, effortless responsiveness, and endless customization options, Tailwind CSS is here to transform your web development journey into a magical and delightful experience. So grab your wand, unleash your creativity, and let Tailwind CSS be your trusted companion on the path to creatifying, stunning, and enhancing websites. So with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like and share this video and subscribe to Simplilearn's YouTube channel. Thank you.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.